guys, and welcome back to SurelecTV. So today's Friday, it's now 7:15 in the morning. It's a bit dark and gloomy today, but it's Friday, so that's all that matters. So I was originally going to film kind of my whole week this week, my week of work, and post it on YouTube just to give you an insight into my week. But it started off well on Tuesday because obviously we had the bank holiday on Monday. Tuesday I was actually in Slough, which is like 3 hours away from where I lived, or where I live. So I'd done a good day's filming there, and Wednesday I got to my job and realised I hadn't brought my GoPro. I left it at home on charge still, so that was this week's video down the Swanee pretty much. So yesterday I turned up to a E.I.C.R. to complete for a client. I actually showed you a couple of weeks ago where I had that poor condition E.I.C.R. This time it's 3 flats I've got to test. There's actually 4, but the 4th one isn't owned by them, so I've only got to do 3 of them. No testing of the landlord's supply, but I'll get onto that one when I'm actually on site. So yeah, I've been on this job since yesterday. I turned up yesterday. As soon as I walked through the door, all I could see was C1s and C2s everywhere basically. So yeah, again it's going to be another poor condition one, and I thought, I know what, I'll save this week's YouTube video and do another video on an E.I.C.R. I'm probably not going to show you any testing as such. I'm just kind of going to walk through what I found, leave a little bit up for discussion. Obviously if you've got any thoughts on it, leave it in the comments. Like I said, I did go there yesterday, and obviously because I found a few C1s, I have rectified them or isolated them as best as I can already, but I will probably walk through them still anyway and post little. I did take pictures, so I'll put little pictures in the corner of the screen somewhere, just so you can see what I did actually find. So yeah, I thought I'd film this video because I don't think it is that often you find properties in this bad a condition. I thought it was quite nice for obviously electricians to see some of the work that is about, and also people who aren't electricians just to see some of the stuff we face sometimes, and the DIY work that causes us some problems. Anyhow, enjoy the video. Like I said, leave some comments and thoughts in the bottom, and yeah, I'll see you on site. So I'm now about to pull up to the job. I just wanted to say, or quickly mention, the main reason I'm doing this E.I.C.R. is basically the council have been out to inspect the properties, and they've deemed them to be in an unsuitable condition. Not just the electrical work, but there's loads in general that's not good at all basically. So I've been called in to obviously do the electrical inspection. It says on the report obviously all C1 and C2 observations have got to be rectified. Obviously any C1s I find I do while I'm on site, or make them safe while I'm on site anyhow, till I get the go ahead to carry out the works. They've also pulled up on the report to say there's not enough heating in the property, so one of my tasks, not today but end part of next week, is to put panel heaters in each room just to provide a bit of heating. The other thing is the fire alarm system isn't actually functional. Now I might be doing that, I might not, I'm not too sure at the moment. But yeah, the main panel was completely buggered, all the quarter points have been smashed in, so yeah, that's in a bad condition as well. What else was there? Oh yeah, there's not enough plug sockets in any of the rooms really, so there's only like one or a couple of singles in each room, so there's not sufficient plug sockets in each room, and they've said needs to be rectified because there's too many extension leads trailing about, and obviously it's a hazard. So yeah, we're going to get everything tested today and see exactly what needs to happen next week to bring the property up to standards electrical wise. So yeah, now outside, I'll take you indoors. About the property, I'm just going to show you the main kind of landlord's cupboard. As you can see, the door doesn't actually shut or go on properly, which is always a good start. And then yeah, this is the main mess. Now you probably thought, oh, there's a cover off a fuse board there, you must be testing that one already. No, that is exactly how I found it. So God knows how someone's managed to lose the cover. I've checked in all that crap down there, but to no avail. So yeah, basically when I turned up yesterday, there was 2 of these shields missing. Now I prefer to see the ones where you can't actually stick anything in the holes, but I replaced them with 2 of the same to match, but that fuse board isn't being used, but I still class that as a C2, because obviously you can still, theoretically, if someone turns that on, you can stick anything you want in there and yeah, get a nice little shock. But as I found it with them off, it was a C1, because obviously I could touch live conductors. That one had the same, that had 1 missing on it. What else did we have when I first turned up? This is obviously before carrying out any testing, literally just visual. Right, these 2 breakers here, this one had a 1361 fuse in a normal carrier, but what they've done is the fuse is blown, so they've put just a normal bit of wire, wrapped it around the fuse, put it back in, and because obviously you screw the cover back up, because it was a lot thicker, you could actually touch the fuse pretty much through this front plate, so obviously C1 straight away. This one had incorrect fuse wire in, they'd literally just use standard bit of, it looked like 1.5 flex. It was stranded cable, literally just pull as the fuse. So they were both C1s, but obviously I've replaced straight away with a couple of 60898s I had on the van, plug-in jobbies. So yeah, I'll just show you what I mean by they've wrapped just wire around the normal fuse. So this one is the one I'm doing today, and I've just checked the fuses this morning. So I've just turned the fuse board off while I do this. Now this one here has got exactly what I was saying on, stranded cable used as the fuse wire. So I've marked that as a C1, although there's no potential to touch any live parts or anything, but in my eyes that's not the correct fuse, so that circuit could take God knows how many amps, and there's potential to cause fire and harm to anyone obviously. 30 amp one is exactly the same. All they've done is wrapped a load of normal stranded wire through the 3036 fuse, and you can actually see that it looks like it might have already overheated on that one. There's a little bit of molten copper on there. So yeah, they're C1s I've marked as, but I do carry a load of these on the farm. Whenever I change a fuse board, it's always best to keep these. So they do come in handy, so I've got a couple to replace them with for the time being. There's no RCD protection at all in this place. They've all got cooker sockets with 13 amp sockets on them, so they should definitely be RCD protected, and obviously to do that would mean changing the fuse boards. The upstairs flats, I wouldn't say there's potential to use the sockets outside, which would be classed as a C2 for the RCD, but one of the flats we're testing is actually downstairs, so there is the potential there for one of the sockets to be used for outside equipment, so I'm going to mark that as a C2 for no RCD protection on the sockets and in general. So I'm just going to show you the fire alarm. So yeah, this is the fire alarm panel. As you can see, it's been absolutely battered at some point. Someone has taken it upon themselves to take the actual fuse out, so I assume it was probably sounding the alarm at some point. There's the smashed cool point. The YT2 has seen better days as well. Now all the switching in this is all to do with the landlord supply, so I'm not theoretically testing that, but yeah, all the switching is kaput pretty much in here, which is no good. So yeah, like I mentioned, complete mess. We've got bonding cables, I assume, or earth cables supplying something or other, which I'm going to have to trace out, which by the looks of it have literally just been hacked off. So yeah, this is just the start, and like I said, I've already actually tested one flat, so I have done some remedial work already for the C1s. There was a socket hanging off the wall with live terminals exposed. The immersion heater switch, the big jobbies hanging off the wall in one of them as well, with live cables which are able to be touched, and that one's actually got cockroaches in as well, so yeah, I might go and take a little video of that just to show you. So yeah, stay tuned. Trying to get over how someone's actually managed to lose the cover off this fuse board. I mean, if you take that cover off, the chances of you misplacing something that size or losing it is pretty unlikely really. I mean, I've checked in down there and there's nothing down there, so I just can't understand, and no one's done anything about it. Now, as I mentioned before, these flats are actually owned by Romanians. I'm not going to cast any comments or anything whatsoever because that'd be unprofessional. But yeah, the clients told me that they have been known to faff about with the electric stuff themselves, so I suspect that maybe at some point they've messed around with this, because if I look above there's a nice set of chocker blocks doing something. I don't know what as yet, but yeah, awful really. So this is the other fuse board I'm going to test today, and as you can see, I'm not going to prod it too much, but it's actually been held together by a bit of brown tape that could quite easily just pop off, and you can pretty much see through there the screw on the right hand side, so that'd be the live terminal. So yeah, awful again, and that'll be classed as a C1. Just to take note of, on these kind of plastic protectors, they just cover the buzz bars. This is one of the ones where the fuses had been altered and incorrect fuse wires put in. Now it's quite clear to see there's been some kind of overheating at some point on these carriers, so that just goes to show at some point, because at the moment that one hasn't got the incorrect fuse in, but at some point that has got quite warm there and caused a bit of burning. Leave something up for a bit of discussion in the comments. Obviously these old fuse boards, the old E.I.C.R I type with the rewirable fuses, a lot of people will see these straight away and advise the customer, yep, you need your fuse board change. But in a lot of situations they don't need to, as long as the existing circuits, kind of the ZS values meet the max ZS values permitted for the fuses, usually alright, and as long as there's no RCD protection needed, then these fuse boards are theoretically fine, although they are physically a little or quite unsafe, but they don't really constitute straight away a fuse board change. Obviously I've taken the cover off this one, and normally there should be a couple of plastic covers on these incoming live and neutral terminals. There isn't on this one, which is a bit horrible, but they are horrible boards inside in general to work with, so yeah, a bit of safe isolation is needed, but obviously I can't isolate them to incoming without cutting these tags. I'm going to show you the flat I'm actually testing at the moment. There's a few defects I've picked up on. So first one we got is this cooker switch up here. Got a nice crack on there which is loose, and as well it's right above the hob. I mean, normally I'd probably just class that as a C3, but they've got this plugged in, and that's quite likely to be trailed into the hob, and there isn't many sockets in here at all, so the chances of that being used quite often is quite high. So in this case I'm going to mark that as C2. All the sockets that are everywhere are either cracked, covered in paint. As you can see, that one's held on with tape. What else have we got? We've got pull cord up there, which is no longer a pull cord. We've actually got an IP rated light in this one, which is not the norm in these flats by the looks of it. We've got a spur off the immersion for the pump, which has got a lovely crack in the bottom of it. What else did we have? Oh yeah, we've got a convector heater in here, which is actually, if I just move this back out of the way, hasn't got any spare at all. It's literally just been, hasn't got any fuse at all. It's literally just been taken straight off the socket and into a connection plate. I assume probably there was a spare on it at some point, and probably someone has taken it upon themselves just to put that on there, I should imagine. Anyhow, we've got a socket down here which is broken. What else have we got? I think that is actually about it for this one. Yeah, as you can see, this one's actually one of the better ones, believe it or not. So yeah, little example. I'm going to show you something else I've found. I've pulled an extension lead out of the wall, and as you can see, that's completely burnt away, and the probe is still in the plug. So yeah, C1 defect there. Also, because some of these plugs have got so much paint on them, I can't actually get an R1, R2 figure out from the front of them. They're that bad. I'll show you the overloading of that extension lead, the effect was had on that socket, so it's completely demolished that side. What didn't help situations was the earths weren't connected properly at the back, so there was no earth theoretically out the front of that. That's what it's done to the plug itself, which I've actually cut off, and there's all the probes and what have you. Show you a couple of things in here. So we've got the cooker isolator, which is a bit close, but this one's only a C3 because I don't think there's any chance of draping the leads over there. So that one's okay. We've got a broken socket here, so we get no R1, R2 value on there. Again, I think that's purely because there's so much paint and crap being shoved in them. Yeah, they've literally just broken away. So right now I'm going to try and show you if you can see this immersion here. So it's all taped on just like that, and I believe if I just undo this screw here, we get some nice little cockroaches in there, look. So yeah, lovely. So yeah, this is literally how I found it. So opened up like that, and with the connections exposed, so that was marked as a C1. Pop that back quickly. One of the bedrooms had the broken socket that I explained before, and that's, I literally, because it was exposed conductors, I swapped that straight away, so that's all good now. Which is pretty common in these flat products, is no IP rated light fitting. As you can probably see on that, it's all rusted away, so yeah, that isn't IP rated whatsoever. So yeah, lovely. As well is these last two live fittings, so this one here and the one in the bedroom, I've got no R1, R2 value, basically because I managed to find out with the first live fitting the earth wasn't connected, so yeah. Helps everyone out, doesn't it? I found, as I pointed out earlier, about this cracked fusible cover, which you can access the live terminal if you were to really shove your finger through there. So I've taken the fusible cover off and just seen this. So we've got cords missing from the incoming live conductor. It's not fully in the terminal. No idea if that's tightened up correctly or not. But yeah, overall really shoddy. Going to show you what I think is the worst flat. That's the last flat I'm testing. So we've got a socket up here, or I say a socket, a cooker socket up here that's doing this hob. So I'm a bit concerned about this lead drapes and over pans and stuff. All the sockets, like the other flats, are covered in paint. This is a bit questionable. Light switch above the hob. What else have we got? In this room we've got a spur on the wall. Let me just get a torch on that, which is live. It's obviously been live for quite a while. All the live conductors exposed there. So yeah, C1 right there. We've got a broken light switch in here. What else have we got? We've got my personal favourite, which is actually in the bathroom. Oh, I haven't got power on, bear with me. So what we've got is a makeshift switch there with some what look like to be some kind of speaker wires taped to the wall with some kind of connection block nailed into the architrave, which then goes all the way a lot, drapes across to this lovely IP rated light in the bathroom. All the connections exposed there, and yeah, that's a real bodge job that is. So yeah, that'll be probably a C1 as well. So we'll have to do something about that. Right. In this room we've got another exposed socket which has completely had it. The connections in the back have completely gone, so yeah, that's had it. That needs a new one. And back box, that socket there is burnt out and exposed. We've got another broken socket there. The earth pin spring is broken, it's not fixed to the wall properly. In here we've actually got a double, well, we've got 1, 2, 3, and then that spare you just saw in that bedroom is all taken off the immersion, so that's a bit excessive. Nice inner sheath exposed on that cable there. Everything's nicely fixed. So yeah, that's about it in this flat, but like I said at the start, it's all very interesting really. Right, so I'm all done testing these flats. First things first, now back in the van, so get a bit of that anti-back on the hands. As you probably saw, they weren't the nicest of flats, so yeah, just to be safe. So yeah, as you probably noticed, there was a lot of defects there. The main problem being, I think, the occupants tend to alter a lot of the electrical work. If something's not working, they'll try and sort it out themselves, and quite obviously that's not good at all. And my client actually said not so long ago they had one of the flats completely fitted out with electric heaters, and now they've all suddenly disappeared. So yeah, regarding the remedial work, because there is a hell of a lot, I'm probably going to put forward to the client that I don't actually want to carry out any of it, just because of the conditions, and I don't really want to get involved with that installation really. I've obviously got my 3 reports, or all of them, all 3 are unsatisfactory, so I'll be completing these online on the E.I.C.R I online certification website. If you do want to see me do one of these online, just let me know, and maybe one of the videos can be me filling one of these out online. Again, if there's any other suggestions for videos you want me to do, just let me know in the comments. I might do a review of my Fluke multimeter, or multifunction tester, sorry, soon, so let me know if you'd like to see that. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on this video and the defects I found. Obviously always open for comments, discussions on there, so yeah, go ahead. Give the video a like, please subscribe if you haven't already, I do appreciate it. All the comments and likes I'm getting, it's nice to see the channel getting a bit of recognition, I suppose. As you're probably aware, it does take up quite a bit of time editing and actually filming the videos as well, so yeah, do appreciate it. Yeah, forgot what I was going to say now. Oh yeah, Facebook. Again, give us a like on our Facebook page, or my Facebook page, SurelecTV Electrical Limited. Little pop-up will pop up somewhere down there in a minute. And yeah, I try and post at least once a week on there, just of one of the installs I've done. But yeah, if you do want to see the work I do, then that's the place to see it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I shall see you on the next one. Thanks guys, see you later.